We are here today with Ashley Logsdon of 48days.com. Her father is the best-selling author of the book 48 Days to the Work You Love, and they actually operate a internet-based company that helps people, basically what I like to call figure out what they want to be when they grow up. And Ashley works from home. She works with the company, but she's also, not only does she work with 48 Days, she also has her own business as a life coach, and she considers herself to be a personal success manager, an advocate, a volunteer, and above all those other things, she is absolutely a devoted wife and mother. And that's why we wanted to have her come and be on to do an interview with us for the website. Basically, our interview today is to find out from Ashley how she keeps those things in the proper perspective and keeps everything prioritized, and how she's been able to find success in having a career outside of her home. So I just want to welcome you, Ashley, and I want to thank you so very much for doing this. And I know that the things that you're going to share today are going to help a lot of women, and that they're going to, just be an encouragement to other mothers, to say that they can do both, that they can have a successful family and have a successful, what they consider to be a successful career at the same time. So I just want to thank you for that.
Well, good. Thank you. I'm excited to be on.
Okay, so I want you to just go ahead and start by kind of telling us what exactly it is that you do for 48 Days, and also about some of the life coaching that you do.
All right, with 48 Days, I've got a lot of different hats. Obviously, since my dad's the author and the career coach, I kind of am his personal assistant. So I handle basically anybody that wants to get through to Dan comes through me. So I handle that. I also handle all of the event planning for any events we do, which we just had one last weekend. We've got another one in 3 more weeks. So I do all the logistics for that. I handle all of the customer service, and I also do anything that has to do with our personality profiles. Also, our 48 Days to the Work You Love curriculum, where we actually teach these all throughout the country, and we do certification programs. And I head up all of the curriculum, and also product development and some web design as well. And then, of course, personal assistant basically covers anything else.
Oh, so what do you do in your spare time? No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
No such thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there is no spare time with toddlers around anyway.
Right. So what... go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I do all that with 48 Days. And then my personal coaching, I'm a family and relationships coach. And I'm a coach versus a counselor. A lot of times there is a need for a counselor to work through family issues, but what I focus on is dealing with eliminating the crisis before it happens. So it's, if you've got something that's coming up that's going to be a change in your family lifestyle, whether it's a kid going to college or a new baby or a divorce or a new marriage or anything like that, then I work with you to help you kind of go through the process together, and so you never get to that point of a crisis. Just a tiny bit of background on my dad's business. Let's see, 20 years ago, we lived in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Dad, being the entrepreneur that he is, was on his umpteenth new job opportunity that he, this new business that he purchased, and this one was not the best decision, and he actually ended up losing the business and had to sell everything. We lost our house, our car, everything. That's when we relocated to Nashville. And throughout that process, basically he should have gone bankrupt, but he didn't, and he spent the next pretty much 12 years paying off the it was around $500,000 in debt that was accrued from that. And throughout that process, that was kind of the starting point to get him to where he is now, where he started seeing the lessons that he learned with all the different entrepreneurial endeavors that he did, and he started teaching other people, and started it out as a Sunday school class, and more people started coming to him, and finally everybody wanted to talk to him so much that while he was out of town one time, Mom started booking people as paying clients, and all of a sudden he had a coaching business.
Fantastic.
That's actually how it got started.
what kind of influence did your mother have, if any influence? What kind of influence did she have regarding your work life? Because, you live in the same house with her. I know what your dad was doing at this time, like kind of what was she doing and everything like that.
I learned some very valuable lessons from Mom for the way that I parent and also for where I stand with my work, and not all of it because I'm just duplicating what she did either.
Right.
She was a stay-at-home mom. I always thought I was going to be only a stay-at-home mom and not do any other work, because it has been instilled in me from the very beginning that family is first.
Right.
And she was a stay-at-home mom and did that all the way through until I went away to school. I mean, even now she doesn't work outside of the 48 Days business. Now, of course, my mom being the person that she is, she's always been involved in what my dad has been doing, and she's his number one supporter. And she realized that she was Dan's wife and Ashley, Jared, and Kevin's mom, and she kind of had lost who she was.
Right.
And it was a very big learning point for all of us, a really how important that is, that although you want to give everything to your kids, you don't want to lose who you are in the process. And I see a lot of parents that do that, and they have such a kid-centered home or such a spouse-centered home or whatever that they tend to kind of lose their identity. And I mean, I can understand that, especially when when you love something so strongly and you're so passionate about what they're doing. But it really showed me how important it is to still maintain a level of who you are and keeping up the things that you enjoy doing. And that was a hard process for the whole family to kind of readjust to Mom not just being everything to everyone, but really helping her learning to say no, and us helping her to say no to things where she's able to take some time for herself. And the change in her is incredible. She has had the ability now to give back even more, and she's a mom to so many more people than just us biological kids at this point. And she's taken in all kinds of people, but she still has, every Friday night is date night for Mom and Dad. That's without fail. That they will not book anything on the Friday nights because of that. And she has art class on Mondays, and she does a lot of things that are just for her. And that's really been a great lesson that she's taught me, is to not lose myself in this process of being a wife and a mom.
Our mothers have way more influence on our decisions as mothers than maybe we even realize it ourselves. Because one of the things about my mom growing up, I didn't realize my mom was a networker. But she is so good at networking with people, and I didn't realize until I was an adult that that's actually what it was, because she knows people, and she's always like connecting people and building relationships with people, and I love doing that myself, and I didn't realize that about myself until I became an adult, and then I could see that in her, that that's what she did. So I think that that's awesome that you're able to see that about your mom and know, okay, I want to do something different because of, this is a lesson that she learned, and she's passing this lesson on to me, so I don't have to learn it firsthand for myself. So
right. And that's one thing. I mean, I know that there are a lot, people have all kinds of different relationships with their moms, and some of them are not good at all. But I do believe very strongly that you can learn something from every single person you come across, especially your parents. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to learn only the positive things. You may learn what you don't want to do. And even in my relationship with my mom, I'm very close with my mom. We have a wonderful relationship. And one of the things I learned was what I don't want to do, which is to lose myself. And thankfully she hasn't lost herself anymore, and she is definitely Joanne at this point. There's a lot of things where they don't know the rest of the family, but they know Joanne. So she's come around. But any way you look at it, there are so many valuable things you can learn from somebody, and so often there can be a negative trait, especially when you talk about parents and parent-child issues, where you may have issues with your parents when you're older, and you so often can pull something negative and you throw out the whole kit and caboodle. And there really are valuable things you can take from any situation you come across. And so I really encourage everybody to look for that positive lesson in anything and anyone you come across, whether it's somebody at the grocery store or your parents or your kids or anybody.
Right.
When you're talking about having small children and working from home, when you work outside of the home, somebody else is at home with you, your kids, or your kids are in daycare. Somebody else is devoted to just spending time with your children, and you are devoted to just spending time with your work. And vice versa, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're devoted to spending time with your kids, working on the house. You know that there's enough things just staying at home to keep you completely busy outside of doing any extra work. So when you bring it all into the home, you do end up with a lot of different things that can be an issue. And